Okay. Kgabo.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Let me start by apologizing for being late to this meeting. My name is Kgabo. The surname has not yet changed. It's still Kgabo. And I'm also a member of this committee. Let me go straight to, let me start with the CFO. CFO, for how long have you been a CFO of that TVET college?
Since
Press the mic, no.
oh, sorry about that. Since June 2019, honorable member.
Okay. Thank you very much. The regrets that the honorable member has just spoken about, did you have a post-audit action plan for those issues that were identified by the AG?
That's correct, member.
Okay. I hope, can you share it with us?
Okay.
Please share it with us now. But second to that, what were the 3 critical issues that the Auditor General has identified, especially in line with your failures of internal controls?
Okay, thank you. In the main, we had some issues with our IT environment. That was number 1. Then another issue was on the review processes that we actually undertaken. As I indicated, we didn't have other layers that would normally assist in identifying issues that management could not pick up. So that was also the issue. Lastly was on the issue of the also an area where we had some issues. Hence, now we were forced, because some of the issues were factual in terms of...
I'm going to plead with you not to play with words. When I say what are the 3 critical issues that the AG has identified, when you say that the IT environment, you are not clear as to what is the IT environment. What are those issues that... second to that, you'd speak of reviewał processes. Oh. What are you saying there? While you are referring to those questions that I've asked you, do you have an audit and risk committee now, as things stands? And when was it appointed?
Yes, we do have it now. Some of the members were appointed in October last year. Then the chairperson was appointed this year in January.
That is for internal audit or for risk?
For audit and risk committee. We do have...
Can you separate them? Because I believe they are not
okay.
Same committee.
In our case, we have an audit and risk committee, which is the reporting to the council. We also have our internal management committee because the risk function is the responsibility of the management. So we do have the management risk committee.
No, thank you very much. Can you, in summary, prepare those 3 critical things? Don't speak of processes and environment that do not make sense. Because we want to understand, you know, you'd have a post-audit action plan, but it might not necessarily be relevant to issues that the Auditor General is speaking of. So that's why I wanted you to give me that clarity.
Okay.
Maybe without necessarily moving, let me just jump to the DVC of innovation, and I just forgot your charming. Yes. You said you've got an innovation strategy, let alone the fact that the Honorable Minister could not allow you to present it. You said but if I heard you said that it includes the placement of students, that strategy.
Yes.
Can you speak to the mic, ma'am?
The strategy for the placement of students must have a positive impact in that we have now, as an institution, if I look into the strategy, we have now given beneficiaries of placement about 80% of our students have been placed and they have successfully acquired their diploma. And we have also absorbed some of the students from the very placement that we did. even though it was outside or inside the institution or industry.
No, thank you very much, ma. While we are still there, you said that you have managed to achieve a placement of students. Can you probably tell us in which areas, specifically or stream, maybe just 3 that you have dealt placement with? And if you can probably confirm to me that, are you saying that in all of your campuses for the past 2 academic years, there's no student that can claim that he or she is sitting at home without placement, as a result, he or she could not complete his or her diploma?
One is the business studies.
Okay.
Another one is the artisanal development, where students were doing engineering and then they qualified. Others were doing electrical, others were doing marketing. All of them had their chance to be placed and acquired a diploma.
So there's no student out of your records, there's no student, all of these students that you have produced in the past 2 academic years, all of them, they are placed.
They were placed and they have achieved their diplomas, and some are absorbed into our institutions. Some were also even placed internationally in China.
Not a problem, not a problem. Can you give us that report of where and the number specifically per stream? And I just hope and believe that the number that you are speaking of will be aligned to your total number of students that you have produced at that particular year. Because if you have produced 200, let's say 200 students, the number of placements, all of it, when we combine them, it must speak to that 200 in line with those different streams. We are speaking of innovation strategy, and I'm worried that students are raising a frustration of lack of constant Wi-Fi connection, and I think Honorable Kgabo has dealt with that issue. I would want to check with you in terms of your, the world is changing in terms of technological development. In your innovation strategy, what are your key 3 main technological advancement programs that you are currently pursuing that are aligned to the economic development growth of Eastern Cape?
Come again, honorable
Okay.
member. Just one sentence. so
All right,
that I can-
but don't worry, there is a doctor in front of you who will summarize other things. You say your innovation strategy, the world is developing now. We are on the 4th industrial revolution, even though in South Africa, we are still far. In terms of your innovation strategy, what are the 3 critical technological advancement program? Let alone your robotics. Everybody, your robotics, you don't have the necessary support material. That one I'll enter into it. I want to speak to your strategy. What are the 3 main programs that speaks to advancing technology? And those 3 programs that must be aligned to the economic growth path of the Eastern Cape. I think our intention is to develop skills that are relevant in terms of advancing the economy of the province, not only the province, including where the institution is situated. Tell me in terms of your strategy. Don't include robotics, because robotics already there is a question mark. Give me 3 programs that your strategy is speaking of.
Ocean economy.
Ocean economy.
Yes.
What's happening with ocean economy? Talk to
Ocean
me. Take me
economy.
into confidence.
No.
I am literally, my knowledge is limited in terms of academic space. So talk to me as a person who knows nothing. Chairperson, I'm just summarizing. I just want to get the clarity of strategy, because I'm worried about the state of our TVET colleges that must respond to the relevant strategies. If departments of TVET colleges are unable to present a strategy that speaks to what we want to achieve, then it means that our problems are not only in the finances, but are equally aligned to the type of skill that we are developing. That's why we've got students sitting at home claiming that they are not getting an opportunity to be employed, because you are providing them with irrelevant strategies. Talk to me with those 3 strategies. You spoke of ocean economy. tell me what is that thing of Asian economy, the three things, but briefly just taking me into confidence. And don't forget to share the strategy, man. Chairman, I'm in the process of talking here. I think I'm stuttering. These people, since morning, I'm feeling disorganized, man. Babuima, man, and that is Zungu. I know, man. I'm sure you got my question. Chairperson, I just wanted to raise that discomfort ever since I got into this meeting room. I'm sweating, I'm feeling disorganized. I've even pleaded for the intervention of Honorable Cow there in terms of the Medusa by the floor. But I'm waiting for my response. Can you speak to those three?
One is ocean economy, where we're talking about maritime courses.
Is ocean economy, yes?
Yes, maritime. Those are maritime.
Yes. Ocean economy number one is fine. Let's go. I'm trying to manage the time of the
all
check.
right, Ndate. Another one is cyber security, where we're trying to upgrade our students' ability to look into the internet
The third one?
and Wi-Fi and everything. And then the third one is Internet of Things.
Students are claiming that the labs where all of those strategies, all of those programs are supposed to be being taught, the labs are not in good condition. There is that claim from the student.
Yeah.
I think in summary, Chair, I'll just submit my things in writing. Can I just check the qualification of the not the CFO, the
Deputy
Deputy
Principal
Principal? I'm
Innovation.
just not
Thank
sure
you.
of your
Thank you
terminology.
very much, Honorable Kgabo. Please close the mic. What is that? Is that a point of order?
No, Chair, before we move, we go out, I wanted to make a request because we're leaving.
Okay.
It's a short request, Chair.
What is that? You are leaving at 12:30.
No, the meeting's at 12:30, Chair. We must be in the office and ready, prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
What is that?
Chairperson, I want to request that NSFAS, the Deputy Principal Academic provides the committee with a report of the students that were only paid by the 3rd of June by NSFAS from 2024 academic year. Just the report of those students academically, so that we study the impact that outstanding payments had on the academic aspect of the lives of the students. So that report to the committee, please. All those students.
Yes, you should have sent that in writing to the chair. I was going to ask the CFO, because that's the CFO who will know who has NSFAS paid to. We also have
There's a response that was left behind, Chair. Sorry, that I didn't during my time. It wasn't answered. So please, can I get it before I leave? The 1 year, how many textbooks did we get out of 2 million? The CFO was checking.
you see, when we have time, that's not when the time rings. I'm supposed to cut you. Then you ask 10 questions. I'm saying to you, I'm giving you 1 minute to wrap up. You ask 10 questions. But that question, 10 questions and answers, they take 8 minutes. So instead of having 9 minutes, so that all of us can have our time, because we also have a fiscal framework that we must attend to on time today. And then you guys are leaving. Other members want to have their time to ask these people. They will send it to us in writing, because it's 5 to 12. By 1, we will be out. We will be out of here. Honorable van der Walt.
Thank you, Chairperson. The Honorable Kgabo is now going, according to Honorable.
Can we please move faster?
In peace.
Young people. Yes, Honorable van der Walt.
I just on a lighter note, I thought we could take Honorable Kgabo for a shark dive. He would maybe understand a bit more about it. Chairperson, let's go back to business. Let me start off by something, ma'am, that you mentioned, and that is about, the engineering and critical skills that we desperately need in our country for the young people. But if workshops are outdated, and you know, we've seen it in vocational schools and basic education, there's no ways that we're doing a good job. Because people actually will get substandard qualifications, so to speak, as well as substandard jobs. And a job can be a job, but it's not up to scratch. And that makes our unemployment stats go even higher because not a single young person, and there is some students there, would like to enroll in a course, but they don't have proper equipment and workshops are outdated because, you know, things move on in life. It doesn't stay stale. What's your comment on that? Because surely it also plays a major role on other things as well. I can even take down like your pass rate is still 81%, it's down. But all these negative things that doesn't go well with a student who enrolled for specific things make your dropout will go higher, in though it didn't in this case, but it can. Your pass rate will get lower. So what are you going to do to make sure that we have workshops that are actually up to scratch? That's the first question, quickly.
ADA has given us some funding, and in that funding, they had done some workshops and they upgraded them. But now they have then came back to, actually it's the department that forced them to come back to the infrastructure development there. And they have given us 56 million to finish up those workshops, even though this is not enough for everything to be in place in the workshops.
My question is also then, so if you say, and Chair, it's always to me and DDG, the most interesting thing is when we put inquiries like this, we always received money and we're going to do. We've never done it. And you're not the only TVET and institution that tells us this. Everybody comes here with a story that we just got money. There's money in the next budget. It will happen. But, you know, some of the equipment and so is gathering dust. They're unusable completely. So how long did it take before we got it on the agenda? And that is, it's very worrisome because we can't leave people because they're far out in a rural area where it's needed the most to, well, this is what we have, so we wait till we get money. I'm very, very concerned, Jen. I have to really say that because what happened to these students that enroll? Do you keep track record in some way that do they actually find good jobs?
Thank you, Honorable Member. The students, we have tried to put in place a tracker on our students on whether they get employed. A lot of them are unemployed, I agree. And some are employed. So it's just a matter of percentages maybe to allocate to them to see how many are. Others, they have just, we have not yet tracked them because we don't know where they are. But the ones that are absorbed, we can prominently see them around our towns and in our institution.
So then you would agree to me the aim of this department is not every child can go to, or every student can go to a university, and we have to promote TVET colleges. And the way we're doing this is definitely not, I'm putting it to you very straight, Principal, is not promoting TVETs. If a TVET doesn't run, ultimately, you are not promoting TVET training for those. And that's why the young people don't want to go to TVETs, they want to go to university. And we know not everybody can. Do you agree with me?
I agree.
Yeah. So we have to act up on that. I actually, Chairperson, I've got other questions too. I'll put it in writing to give other colleagues an opportunity as well. The only thing I wanted to hear is that these work integrated learning to complete qualifications, are we on track with that in total then, as you say, or are we lacking? Must I repeat? Yeah. So does the college have students who have not been placed in work integrated learning to complete their qualifications? Yes or no?
No,
No.
no, not currently.
Expect.
Yeah, last year, yes.
Okay.
But currently, we have
Yeah.
tried to rate every student
Yeah.
and advertise that we've got these placements.
Yeah. I saw the presentation mentioned that your throughputs are between 8 and 10%. On an earlier, and this year, 2024, will be 12%. I know that the minister has responded to a question of mine where she said that in 2021 it was 10.8, 2022 was 10.2. We must just make sure on your pass rate, your throughput, your dropouts, whatever the case may be, and even your financial statements from clean to unqualified, everything that goes a step back makes it very, very difficult to catch up and grow. Because if you go down and you go 1% up, it still isn't grow. You're just getting back what you've lost. And really, this TVET must jack up and not decline in anything if you want to give students hope in your area and the rural areas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ngubane.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think I don't know whether if I can be assisted either the principal or the DDG in relation to explanation of this position of a vice principal on innovation. Was this position innovation in fundraising or innovation in latest technology or innovation? What specific innovation? Because there's some confusion. Is it innovation in bringing funds to the TVET college, or is it innovation in terms of new technology and linking with the TVET college and improving the students' studying ways of studying? And on top of that, are other colleges have this, or DDG, is this the only college, so that we stop confusing these things and getting a lot of contradicting statement of this innovation? What are we innovating? Are we innovating technology? Are we innovating raising funds? Are we innovating improving the lives of the students, the way they study in a TVET college?
No, thanks, Chair, and thanks, Honorable Ngubane. The position is talking to innovation in terms of your latest developments in as far as the digitalization and digital transformation of colleges is concerned. But furthermore, you recall, Honorable Chair, that TVET colleges do not have the capability of R&D per se. It's within the universities where they do research and then they are able to generate revenue out of that. So the crafting of this portfolio was meant to address that shortcoming so that whoever that occupies that position is able to bring in the latest innovations into the curriculum, but also be able to make sure that the students that then gain access are able, even themselves, to innovate and maybe even start the entrepreneurial, route where they can be able to come up with ideas from ideation to the final product. So that is what is meant. But I think what colleges perhaps have done, because universities will use the R&D units to generate revenue, now the colleges have also combined that they will then utilize this to raise funds, because we don't have anyone within the TVET that deals with donor funding, yet the funding for colleges is on an 80-20 principle, where 80 is what we cover as a state and the 20% they must go and fund for themselves. Maybe that's why now the emphasis has shifted towards fundraising and less on innovation per se, because I think we are currently, Honorable Chair, going through some major reforms in as far as curriculum is concerned, bringing in occupational programs which require more innovation into it. And I think maybe we need to engage. And to answer the second part of your question, colleges had to choose. I'm not too sure why that happened. When PPN was approved, colleges had to choose between having a registrar and a DP innovation. For me, it should have been all colleges should have an innovation, not that it has to be a choice. So these are some of the things that we are addressing now. Since PPN is over, we'll then be looking at restructuring their organogram so that at least each and every college should have an innovation, unit within it. Thank you, Chair.
All right. We've heard principal the lack of communication to students regarding non-allocation to residents, the IT system slowness of it, textbooks delivery lateness or inadequate or even old syllabus books, temporal structures being made temporal permanent, as well as outdated equipment. That as well, the highlight of that was the misalignment of funds, where it is said there's a diversion of college funds to non-academic programs. That's a misalignment. All those things mentioned, inclusive of non-functional of computer labs, outdated computer labs, leaking roofs. But to us here, as the principal, it didn't came out those challenges in your presentation. It came out from the presentation of the labor. What are you doing about that, and why is that? Because it means you don't have the yearly plan of the project. You take the academic funds and divert them to somewhere on non-academic programs, which makes all those issues that they are raising persistent and still there and not being fixed. Why is that? What are you doing about that?
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. May I first request our project manager to come on developments with regard to infrastructure, and then I'll come after, if it's okay with you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Principal. I think I'll respond to the last question regarding leaking roofs. We do have about two workshops in two different campuses that have that problem. And we have started a process of making sure that we fix those. So they are running SCM processes as we speak. I think we'll finalize it very soon, probably by the end of this month. Those workshops, I think, are very old, so there were issues in terms of the arrows. That's why they are leaks now. In terms of the maintenance, I think we've been lacking. We've not been doing good in terms of maintenance of our entire infrastructure. But there are plans, as I was saying, to make sure that we fix those workshops. Thank you.
Okay. In terms of why these issues did not come from our presentation, if you look at from slide 63, the challenges, we have highlighted these issues. It might be that the wording is different. For example, we have said incomplete workshops. This speaks to the issues that we're experiencing with workshops. The issues of textbooks are there. The issues of connectivity are there. We have highlighted them. We have not swept them under the carpet. So what we have done, as I indicated, during my second week of being at the college, together with the chairperson of council, we did a site visit of all the sites just to get a sense for ourselves and gather primary data in terms of what the situation looks like. Then after that, we convened with the executive management of the college. We summoned, probably we called the managers who are responsible to the areas that we deemed very urgent to work around the plan in terms of these things. For example, one of them was accessibility of water, and we have been able to, get into it to make sure that it happens. Repair of the ablutions, it was a concern for us. We immediately put a plan in place to say it's not acceptable, we're not going to take it, something must happen. In fact, we even went to the extent of saying each manager must develop a work program so that we know how they spend the 8 hours. Because if they are working for the 8 hours, we'll not be able to have some of these operational challenges.
Yes. Then, Principal, do we have a tracking mechanism that these maintenance are happening and completed and they're not staying permanent as they are reporting that? It seems like it's a permanent feature within the TVET college of these non-maintenance not happening.
Yes, for now, I've taken the responsibility that I will track it from my office until we have functional infrastructure committees and we can escalate the matters properly. So hence I'm saying I convened that special meeting to really look into these matters and show progress.
Okay, Chairperson, as I learned, just my last question. The certificate backlog, TDG, if we can answer that one, because it's a persisting problem in TVET colleges that has been going on for over years, and no one seems to come with a solution for it to permanently resolve that. And it impacts even on students when they now need to get employed or move on their life. They've been to the TVET colleges, but they don't get their certificate. That problem needs to solve. But the critical matter was this one, which was so challenging, of employees' position being changed on PESAL without their communications. HR and principal, how can that happen? I'm an employee, I'm in this position. All of a sudden, I'm moved to a certain position, but there was no communication with me as an employer. Are we moving employees as tomorrow we wake up, I'm in this position now, I've decided I'm putting you in this position? Where have you had something like that? Why is it happening? Thank you very much.
Deputy Principal,
Through you, Chair, thank you. Honourable Member, with the issue of the change of job titles on the system, there is a PPN model that we are implementing at colleges, and there is a structure that is called a College Implementation Committee, where we sit and drive the process. I just want to put it differently, member, that the issue was not communicated. The structure did receive a communication from the department in a form of a circular. And there was a time frame that was provided to colleges in terms of implementation of that circular. Yes, in one or two sites, I will indicate that there's been a lack of consistent communication in terms of updating employees. And we have, as a management or as the structure, which is called CIC, in abbreviation, took that responsibility to say we definitely are going to improve the communication, but there were letters that were issued in terms of placement and matching of employees. For example, I did receive a communication that I will be placed and matched as Deputy Principal Corporate Services. So it was just that lack of communication in some sites, but it's not that the entire institution there was an issue in terms of that communication, but there was a circular issued by the employer for all TVET colleges, but maybe in our college it was to communicate the circular itself, but the letters were issued to all employees and people accepted, but there were those officials that were sitting at the time that objected their placement and matching, of which the committee is addressing that matter. We just said last week, as the principal is saying, during this 12th day, he's been trying to move with speed with the issues, and we've got a meeting that is scheduled for next week, which is going to look at this reflection of the placements. But the communication was that it was not consistent in all sides. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, Mhlongo, I've not been interjecting, but you're not assisting. We know the policy that speaks about matching and placing. So when you respond, don't respond as if we don't know that policy, because you are now provoking us to ask certain questions. There's a process that you must follow when you place and match. And it also gives an employee an opportunity to respond to it. Many of them, DDGs across the sector, would have refused. And that is why they will not have been placed. So you can't take it, whether there's a secular or there's a whatever, you don't place somebody without communicating with them. That's what the policy says. You negotiate with this employee. So the issue here, the question is, you have not been following that. You have placed people without communicating. And the question is, why are you doing so? So answer again, but this time, answer knowing that we know what the policy says, and these members are asking you what they know. Answer the question as was asked. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Chair. What I can indicate, Chair, is that, as I've said, that we have issued the placement and matching to employees, but it's that sometimes the process will be aftermath.
Chair.
But
Honorable Law.
I'm not sure if I'm out of order, but I think the question was specific. Where are the members or the employees being paid without their consent? They only see to the person that they've been paid, yes or no? As to what has happened, it's not going to assist the process. Let's assist each other. Thanks.
Yeah. We're doing well so far. Let's not derail ourselves. The policy, if you say to me, we have not been consistent with communication, you are saying you have not implemented the policy according to what you're supposed to do. So you have transgressed your own, because it says if you are going to move Ntate Motlame from being a PLO of the DG to being a PLO of the minister, there's a process you must follow. You can't say I did not, we have not communicated with him. It means you have not followed, because the policy says speak to him, give him a right of reply, whether he accepts or not. And if he does not accept, there's a process you must follow. That's what it says. So you can't say there's not been consistency with the communication. You have not followed your own policy. And it's a big worry for us. Because it then confirms the bullying that the Labour speaks about from yourselves.